And that's exactly what I was saying before we hit record. Well, good thing the mics are on now. Hey everyone, I'm Meera. Welcome to Newspresso.
I'm Rohan. It's Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. And yes, I was definitely still mid-rant.
Naturally, let's get into it.
Okay, but hold on. Trump lands in Beijing for a state visit, and everyone is pretending this is mostly about optics, but the actual framing is much sharper. Iran, trade imbalances, frontier technologies, all of it.
Right, and what stands out is that officials seem to want tangible results, not just a nice photo op. That usually means the room is tense before anyone even sits down.
Exactly. And the Hormuz crisis drama is part of the backdrop too, with Washington pushing Xi to curb Iran-related oil activity. That's not exactly a small ask.
And it's also a global energy issue, not just a bilateral one. If China changes behavior there, markets notice fast.
True, but the reporting also says no one should expect a dramatic breakthrough. This looks more like risk management than diplomacy with fireworks.
Which honestly may be the most realistic kind of summit there is. Keep the lines open, stop the relationship from sliding, don't accidentally misread each other into a bigger crisis.
And Taiwan keeps surfacing too, because Beijing clearly doesn't want that front to escalate. It's all about preserving room for maneuver.
Plus, the commercial side is hanging over everything. Chips, rare earths, semiconductors, AI safeguards, even arms control questions, though formal arms control dialogue has its limits.
Interesting how the headline becomes summit, but the real story is crisis prevention. If they get even small tactical wins, markets may take that as a sign that the detent isn't dead yet.
Yeah, and for regular people, it's not abstract at all. Energy prices, trade flows, and high-tech goods can all feel this.
Staying with Beijing, India is now openly calling China out over Pakistan. The trigger is reported technical support from Chinese technicians to Pakistan's Air Force during Operation Sindoor.
And China, through that CCTV interview with AVIC engineers Zhang Heng and Shu Da, basically made the support visible. That's what turned this from rumor into a diplomatic problem.
Right. New Delhi says Sindoor was a precise, targeted response to the Palgham terror attack and aimed at destroying state-sponsored terror infrastructure in Pakistan.
So India is saying this was counter-terrorism, not escalation against China, while China is being framed as backing the wrong side.
Randhir Jaiswal said the reports corroborate what was already known and then pushed the moral question. Should responsible nations back terrorist infrastructure if they care about their standing?
That's a sharp line, and it moves the issue beyond one clash in May 2025 into broader questions about China-Pakistan alignment.
Exactly. The government is also careful to say Sindoor was limited and non-escalatory, not a broader war with China. But the diplomatic sting is obvious.
And now the BRICS context comes in, because India can use global diplomacy to press for accountability.
What's interesting is the reputational angle. India is basically saying military capability isn't the only thing on the table. Credibility matters too.
Yeah, and that suggests this won't be a quick spat. Delhi seems ready for a sharper public scrutiny of China-Pakistan military ties.
So, both of these stories are circling the same big issue. How far major powers are willing to go to manage instability without pretending it's fixed.
Exactly. And that's a good bridge into the next section, because the regional tension is already spilling into domestic policy and markets.
Right, let's shift gears. Tamil Nadu's new Chief Minister, Joseph Vijay, has ordered the closure of 717 TASMAC shops near temples, schools and bus stands. That's a very direct first move.
717 is a lot, and they have 2 weeks to do it.
Yes, the statewide survey found 276 near places of worship, 186 near educational institutions, and 255 near bus stands.
Okay, so this isn't just symbolic. It's a mapping exercise followed by enforcement.
And the government is framing it as public welfare, part of a drug-free Tamil Nadu agenda. That's the official line anyway.
Official line is doing some heavy lifting here, because closing that many outlets also have revenue and employment consequences.
Exactly. There are already debates about TASMAC finances and state revenue, plus trade unions are calling for alternatives for workers affected by the closures.
And the instruction isn't only to close or relocate the shops, but also to make sure new outlets move into those prohibited zones.
Which means inspections, shifting outlets, deadline pressure, all of it. This is where policy meets actual street-level logistics.
I do think it's notable that this has drawn praise from TVK allies and public figures, but also commentary beyond Tamil Nadu, even from Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, because once a state takes a big public welfare step, everyone else starts using it as a mirror for their own governance debates.
For residents, the promise is safer streets and less liquor exposure, but the trade-off is job security and revenue. That's the uncomfortable part.
A very familiar uncomfortable part of government, unfortunately.
All right, moving to markets, Indian stocks had a rough day. Nifty and Sensex slipped on weak global cues and domestic sector pressure.
And when the market is already nervous, it really doesn't take much to deepen the slide.
True, tech was under pressure too. TCS, Infosys, and Tech Mahindra were notably weak.
And then you had the other side of the story. Bharat Forge lands a long-term contract with Embraer to supply landing gear forgings. That's a serious entry into a global aerospace supply chain.
Yeah, that was actually huge if you think about it. It's not just a one-off order headline, it's a global manufacturing integration story.
Meanwhile, SBI signaled resilience by planning up to $2 billion in overseas bond issuance. That's a very different kind of market message.
It is basically raise funding, diversify sources, keep options open.
Indian hotels posted stronger results too, which shows the earnings season is not moving in one direction across the board.
And Pine Labs expanded into Southeast Asia through a partnership with Gcash. That's the kind of cross-border digital payments move that keeps quietly compounding.
Grow also drew attention after heavy block deals, while HFCL and Bharat Forge got positive headlines from orders and exports.
So it's a selective market, not a broad-based story. Some names are getting punished, some are getting rewarded.
And everyone is watching policy, funding strategies, and global oil. Because of course they are. And that global oil piece is not just abstract. India's oil marketers are under pressure as crude surges and West Asia tensions continue.
Right. The three state-owned OMCs, Indian Oil, BPCL and HPCL, are absorbing under-recoveries of around 1,000 crore per day.
That's a staggering daily burn if retail prices stay where they are.
Ministers are warning losses could reach up to 1 lakh crore in a single quarter. That's if prices aren't adjusted.
The government isn't committing to a bailout or immediate price hike though. It's basically waiting to see how long retailers can keep absorbing it.
And at the same time, there's no supply disruption. Stocks are built up, about 60 days of crude and natural gas, and 45 days of LPG rolling stock.
That's the reassuring part. The worrying part is whether the policy choice becomes consumer protection versus OMC profitability.
And if crude stays above $100 a barrel, the pressure only grows. There was even mention of a possible 4 to 5 rupee per litre hike if losses keep going.
Which is always the awkward political question. Do you shield households now and squeeze balance sheets, or pass on the pain gradually?
And Modi's conservation push fits into that larger energy discipline idea. Use less, waste less, keep the system stable.
So the market story, the oil story, and the geopolitical story are all tied together. That's the fun part of modern economics.
Fun is one word for it. Okay, moving to tech and work culture, Modi's push to revisit work-from-home habits has reopened the hybrid debate in IT.
And the framing matters. He's asking offices to reconsider COVID-era habits to curb fuel use and ease foreign exchange pressures.
Which is actually a pretty direct link between office policy and national energy management. I mean, that's not how most WHF debates are usually framed.
No, usually it's just managers arguing with employees about who is visible on which day.
Fair. But the industry response here is basically hybrid is already the model.
NASSCOM and major IT players say it's well established, balances client needs with employee flexibility, and a broad return to full-time WHF would disrupt workflows and contracts.
Zoho's Sridhar Vembu and some Chennai executives are also saying the energy argument is real, but the operations are already built around hybrid structures.
And on the union side, NITES is pushing for formal government advisories to mandate WHF wherever feasible.
So the tension is not can people work remotely, it's who gets to decide when and how often.
Exactly. And the broader backdrop of West Asia tensions and potential oil shocks makes the energy argument harder to ignore.
In Hyderabad and Secunderabad, this apparently resonated with policymakers and business leaders too.
The likely outcome, for now, is status quo, unless a formal directive or a sharper crisis forces a bigger shift.
Which is maybe the most IT sector sentence ever. Change is possible, but only if policy or crisis makes it unavoidable.
That is depressingly accurate. All right, education, and this one is a mess. NEET-UG 2026 has been cancelled after a suspected paper leak, with the government ordering a comprehensive CBI probe.
And this was a huge exam. Around 22 lakh students had registered.
Yes, the exam was held on May 3rd in 551 cities in India and 14 abroad, so the fallout is enormous.
The really alarming part is that a handwritten paper that looked like a real question set was circulating before the exam.
Investigators say the leak involved a handwritten guess paper with hundreds of questions, and about 120 questions matched the actual exam.
And the trail goes through Nashik printing presses to Rajasthan Sikar and then to other states. That suggests a network, not a one-off lapse.
The government says it will announce a re-exam schedule within 7 to 10 days and no re-registration or extra fees will be charged.
That's important at least, because students already have enough uncertainty.
The political fallout was immediate. Rahul Gandhi called it a crime against the future of youth, and other leaders blamed governance failures and mismanagement.
NSUI and student groups were protesting too, in Delhi and across campuses.
And reform voices like Anand Kumar are pointing to the broader problem: coaching centers, exam governance, and the incentives around competitive tests.
So the issue isn't only this leak, it's trust in the whole system.
Exactly. And when trust breaks in a national exam, the damage lands on students and families first.
And the second NEET story makes that even clearer, because the cancellation isn't just administrative, it's emotional.
Right. The National Testing Agency said it couldn't allow the current process to stand.
Rajasthan's SOG detained dozens and traced the leaked guest paper, which pushed the case into central agency territory.
And then the political responses followed fast. Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra both condemned the irregularities.
Medical associations and state leaders also said trust has to be restored through strict action and transparent investigation.
What's not clear yet is how fast all that can actually happen in a way students will believe.
Exactly. The plan is to reconduct the exam later and official channels will share the details. But until then, lakhs of students are in limbo.
And the admit card and retest handling will matter a lot. Timing is everything in admissions.
This is one of those stories where the process is the story. If the process fails, everything downstream gets shaky.
Which is why people keep demanding accountability. They don't just want a new date. They want a system they can trust.
Last one, and slightly less chaotic thankfully, CBSE Class 12 results are coming soon, and students are staring at DigiLocker like it owes them answers.
The emotional support app lineup for exam season is basically cbse.gov.in, results.cbse.nic.in, DigiLocker, and Umang.
That's one way to put it. The board used on-screen marking this year to try to finish evaluation faster.
And that makes sense. OSM is supposed to reduce the evaluation window, mask student identities, and let evaluators work remotely.
The exams ran from February 17 to April 10, and results are expected around the third week of May, though there is no exact date yet.
Students are being told to avoid unofficial links and wait for the formal notification.
Which, given the NEET situation, is probably wise.
Excited, provisional digital marksheet should be available once results are declared, with login details like roll number, school code, admit card ID, and date of birth.
So this is one of the few stories today where speed could actually reduce stress instead of adding to it.
Yeah, if the OSM system works smoothly, admissions planning gets easier, and everyone wins a little.
A rare cheerful note to end on.
Honestly, I'll take it.
All right, that's us for today on Newspresso. Stay tuned, we'll be back soon.
Thanks for hanging out with us.